And a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us here today for another live episode of Conversations with Michael. And we hope you're enjoying this holiday season in whatever way you choose to celebrate it. And today we have the beautiful Crater Lake in the background, which is just a few hours from where we live. One of the places we love to go to, and it's been a while since we've been there, that just remind us truly how beautiful this planet is. I notice that in my own life, things tend to slow down a little bit during this time of year. Here in Oregon, it's the winter time. I know it's officially just fall, but it's really cold, and it feels really good. It feels to me like nature is taking a long overdue nap. And maybe that applies to a lot of us too. It gives me time to ponder, perhaps like many of you, about all the changes that are happening on this planet in ways and at a speed unlike anything we have ever seen before. It inspires me to reflect on some of the choices I've made in my own life, in all the different roles that I've played, including this current one. I like to look back as a young man when I was living deep in the forest in the Oregon Coast Range. I truly enjoyed the life I had created for myself as a custom furniture maker, also playing the role of a husband and a father to 3 children, while at the same time, perhaps like a lot of you, feeling this immense passion to know myself outside of those roles. At that time, my passion was off the charts. It inspired me to imagine possibilities that I could only dream of, and then to act on them without really knowing what would come later. And then one day, the unexpected happened to me. I experienced the unfiltered presence of my soul and my oversoul. And of course, that changed my life big time. But if that young man could have seen what would follow, and the role that I am now playing, I wouldn't have been able to relate to it at all. Actually, I would have gone into fear. Streaming live to a YouTube channel, back then I didn't even know what YouTube was. In fact, at that time in my life, I didn't know anything about the internet. That would have pushed a lot of my comfort zone buttons. So as I reflect on all the changes that are now happening on this planet, I continue to be amazed by a growing passion in so many of you for wanting to stay here, and the choices that all of us have made that honor such a passion, and how that impacts your life in ways that can be both exhilarating at times and frightening at the same time. Because it not only changes your life, it not only adds a new chapter to your own story, it has the potential to create a whole new story. And to our human self, it doesn't always feel prepared for the changes that might follow. So this is where we come together every single month to act as supports to each other by sharing a passion for living a soul-filled life, to help support a long overdue change in how we experience being human. Here at Ancient Wings, we offer our support in part by offering a variety of heart-based programs and services. All of them have been designed to help you reclaim a very simple truth. And what is that? Well, of course, you too are the divine. You too are the original self, but with your name on it. And I know that's hard to believe, given the state of our world. I know that sometimes it's not so easy to recognize that part of ourself. When you wake up each morning and look at yourself in the mirror, generally it's not your divine nature that greets you. But at the core of your soul, you are the divine, having a human experience. You are your own God self. So from my perspective, I happen to believe that I've got the best job on the planet, at least from where I'm sitting. I not only have the passion for sharing my relationship and experience with Michael, but I also get to connect with a global community of fully awakened human beings almost every single day who have chosen to own this simple truth. But it doesn't stop there, does it? It is also your passion that I share with every one of you to embody this by going beyond your own thinking process. And I get it. That's not so easy. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of integrity to stop following the stream of thoughts that flow through your head all day long. It's not so easy to shift our attention from what appears to be outside of us to our inner reality. But when we do take that deep dive inside of ourselves, when we start to take responsibility for how we are creating our own experience from the inside out, our life begins to change. But it's not an easy choice to make because there are so many distractions along the way. So many underlying agendas that have helped to define the collective consciousness on this planet, this reality. Agendas that relate to where all of us fit inside of a collective cosmic story. And as much as we have tremendous compassion for this human family, I have also noticed that our patience for those that insist on playing power games, that's at an all-time low. Because there comes a time, and we believe that time is right now, when it's time to stop reaching for the sword and start extending a hand of support in a way that would honor the heart and soul of every human being. Sound like wishful thinking? Well, perhaps it is. Because we know that doesn't come easy. When our human history has become so entangled inside the story our own soul brought with it. Stories that have helped to define our human experience. Stories that for most of us have forgotten inside such a dense physical reality. But this beautiful planet was created as a sacred place. This beautiful planet has a divine purpose to hopefully find resolution to whatever was conflicted in the non-physical realms. And all of us are seeing that play itself out every single day on this world stage. We know it appears to many that the problems are but a byproduct of being human. And the solution to that perception, well, is to get off of this planet as soon as possible, to literally ascend into the heavens. We know that these very ancient stories are vast and complicated, so many layers to them. The easiest thing to do would be to paint them as being black or white. The most difficult thing to do is for each of us to take responsibility for how our inner reality impacts the quality of our life every single day, despite whatever story we have created for ourselves, knowing that we have the freedom to change our story anytime we want. But try telling that in the name of cooperation, in the name of mutual respect to those that seem to enjoy playing all these power games. In that game, it doesn't matter what role you're playing. It doesn't matter if you're playing the victim or the oppressor, the dictator. It's the game itself that is so addictive to so many people. Similar in a lot of ways to these current video games. So Michael, he has encouraged us, all of us, in service to an emerging news story, to be on this planet, fully grounded in your body, filled with a new passion for being human, but not of it, which means to elevate your experience so as to allow your divine nature to also be present, so as to clearly radiate the light of our soul, but as a sovereign being. And as all of you know, such a light has been missing on this planet for a very, very long time. Its presence inspires people to look beyond what is known to them. It inspires them to imagine a new world where human beings have the courage to extend their hand before drawing a sword, to stop playing the victim, to stop playing the oppressor. Because the energy behind that choice offers a fresh new passion for creating something new. So let's begin today's session, as we always do, by taking our deep breath. Yes, I know it's a challenging time to be a human being. Yes, I know the energies are very intense. So this would be a very good time to truly feel the presence of your soul, extending its hand right now to its human counterpart, inviting the human self to do what? to stop doing battle with this part of itself. Because it is that battle from within that is fueling the battle, all the battles that now appear to be outside of us. I'm going to invite all of you to feel into that for just a moment here. With every conscious breath, see if you can become more and more aware, not just of the underlying mind chatter, but of the presence of your soul. Why? Because it's really simple. Your life becomes actually very simple when you realize your own soul is constantly, non-stop, attracting to it through its own radiance all that it needs to support itself. Your human part has but one thing to do in that relationship. Get out of the way. Just get out of the way. How hard is that? Well, apparently, it's really hard for the human part. But it is time, my friends, to stop filtering what is naturally being shared 24/7. It's time to stop trying to make your life all about the human self, all about its own worries and concerns, all about its lack of trust and its own fear of the unknown. A human soul experience is actually really simple. And I know that's really hard to believe, but it's true. We know it's been adorned with this label, a title of you being enlightened. But what happens when your human self stops serving its own issues and starts serving the presence of your soul? Your life becomes free of guilt. Your life becomes free of shame. Your life becomes free of drama, free of lacking anything. And that applies to every single human being, if only they would allow it. All of you that are here today that chose to embrace such an opportunity, you quickly realize that a part of you has become very, very addicted to the drama. Why? Why is that? Well, for one, your human part is just bored with its own story. I know that's hard to admit, but let's just own it for a moment here. Life can be really boring when it becomes so predictable. If what is known just keeps repeating itself day after day. So of course you need a little drama to spice it up. But the drama itself is getting really hard to watch when there already exists a very simple, a very clean alternative. So as we come to the end of this incredible year, 2023, and what a year it's been, right? we extend our heart and a hand to all of our fellow creators. Those of you that had the courage to actually look at the source of your own boredom, the source of your own doubt, and discovered along the way a new passion for living. Simply by allowing your own divine nature to dance with your human self. Oh, we know it doesn't always look pretty. It can be really awkward. It can be really messy at times. But this isn't a contest. Nobody's judging you and how well you dance. Even though there are a lot of eyes watching all of us on and off of this planet, just to see if such a dance is even real. Let's take another deep breath. As I allow Michael, my divine counterpart, to come even closer. Greetings, dear ones. It is I, Michael. In service to those that have chosen, well, to wake up and to live from a dream that was stuck in your past. For some, it became a nightmare, played out for all to see. Unresolved issues between beings who insist they are right by making others wrong. Long-standing issues that have divided families both on and off of this planet. And we would agree wholeheartedly with Robert. There comes a time, after countless lifetimes on 3 different versions of this planet, when you say enough is enough. But not by drawing swords. All of you have tried that. Or by demanding that others now follow your truth. You can declare enough is enough simply by withdrawing your energy from the conflict itself. Because all of it, no matter the story, no matter what your perception might be, all of it originates from within yourself. The vast majority of those that are watching this show, all of you made a really bold choice in relationship to your own personal life. You just grew tired of trying to get others to respect your perspective. You came to the realization that really it's nobody's business what you do. But to make this real for yourself and still be human, you had to elevate your life to gain a different perspective, or for some of you, just to feel a breath of fresh air. By doing what? By allowing the light of your soul to now look through your human eyes so as to see the beauty of the divine in countless forms on this planet as a reflection of the original self, seeking to know itself in countless ways. Each of them is priceless through the eyes of your own divine nature. So many of you came to realize that nothing is really being done to anyone. That was hard to admit. Nothing is really being done to anyone. Nothing just happens. There has to be something inside of you that attracts to you your own experience. All of you were granted the same freedom by the original self to experience life in any manner you choose, even if that meant pretending that you had become separated from the source itself. This divine presence will not interfere with whatever choice you make for yourself. But if you do choose to allow its presence to be present, the whole notion of needing to draw a sword would never enter your mind, because this presence that already exists inside of all of you has never and will never do battle with itself. But if there must be a battle, if you can find no other way to help resolve your current situation, then now would be a good time to stop projecting those inner battles into what appears to be outside of you. If you feel called to raise the sword yet once again, now would be a good time to find the courage to lay it down. Because these battles will never end if the divine part of you isn't allowed to be in your life. And we know that for some of you that are watching this session, you are surrounded by those that have ignored this wisdom, or call it our advice. But you also know you incarnated on this planet to be where you are right now, simply to shine your light. And if you're finding it difficult to stay conscious of such a light, with the energy of battle so close at hand, take a deep breath right now and allow the courage that inspired you to be here as a human being to now be here too. The impact of your light, my friends, is not based on where you live, no matter where you call home. Your light will gravitate to those that are open to feeling it. And there are many in this moment who are in need of feeling hope. Fear can make it really difficult to trust that all is indeed well, when all of you have chosen to experience being human at a most critical time. It's why you're here. All of you have chosen to experience being human at the most critical time on this planet. To some, it represents the end time. But for us, it's just the beginning of something beautiful. As your sacred heart, one that also resides deep inside of you, begins to surface from deep inside of you, carrying with it the armor of divine innocence. Imagine that. Take a deep breath there. Such a presence expresses itself in a variety of ways, but not always by using words. It is emerging at this time because, my friends, this is the age of the warrior coming to an end, but not very gracefully, but it is ending. Oh, the role it has played over eons of time, it needs to be honored. It needs to be respected. But it's time for that part to now allow what is new, but also very ancient, to now step forward in such a way that allows you, perhaps for the first time as a human being, to feel safe within yourself. We invite all of you just to feel into that statement, to feel safe within yourself. Because it's been a while, has it not, since you felt so safe? When I, Michael, have also played the role of an archangel, many of you expected me to protect you from your own thoughts, from your own emotions, from what you have created or attracted, perhaps unconsciously, to yourself. But you've noticed of late that our service to all of you has shifted big time. You're not being abandoned. You're not being unsupported. You're now willing to take responsibility for the life you're choosing for yourself. One that allows your divine nature to now exist at the front of your life. And we get it. It's not a popular choice. And it opens you to being misunderstood, ridiculed, or even judged. But during this lifetime and the years that will follow, the opportunity of a lifetime is at hand as we speak. So many of you can feel it right now, as if you're giving birth to something incredibly precious from within you. And if you would stop listening to that mind chatter as being your truth, when the vast majority of your internal dialogue never originated from you, you would experience something that is truly extraordinary. You would experience what the Buddha and Yeshua also experienced. You would realize that the separation that has existed between your human self and soul was but a perception made real by your mind. You would find that your own truth has never relied on your beliefs. It is so primal, this very ancient truth. And what is it? What is it that you are now reclaiming? What is changing your life in ways that your human self could never imagine? Indeed, you too are the original self, just as I am, but with your name on it. This part of you has never, ever created a problem that then needed to be solved. It creates experiences to expand its awareness of itself into infinity. Why would it do such a thing? Why is that? Simply for the joy of it. Simply for the joy of it. And again, I invite all of you to feel into that statement. Feel into the energy of that statement. The beauty, the purity, and the innocence of that statement. Each of you exists as an individuated part of this divine presence for the joy of it. Is it possible, given the state of this planet, for each of you to also reclaim such an awareness and begin to apply it to your own life? Indeed it is, as some of you have already done so. And so many of you are now living proof of such a choice. Oh, we get it. Perhaps you don't live up to what is expected of you if you're calling yourself an awakened human being, but that's not your problem, is it? Don't make it your problem. Each of you incarnated on this planet, not because of karma. You set free all that guilt and shame. And when you do set it free, karma doesn't exist anymore. Karma is a byproduct of your guilt and shame. You actually birthed yourself on this planet from a place of joy. To your human part, it appears your soul is too innocent so as to survive the human experience. But it is this innocence that inspires your soul to go where no one else has gone before. And where so many of you have chosen to go is mind-blowing. You're just beginning to experience the gift all of us received from the original self. What is that? Yes, your joy. Yes, your passion. But your gift is your sovereignty. Your sovereignty to be uniquely you now as a conscious creator of your own experience. You realized it's hard to apply that statement to your current reality without also being aware of all the experiences every human being has created for themselves, as that applies to your relationship to each other, both on and off of this planet. And your human experience is but a dot in the heavens as that relates to your cosmic story. If you could see the history that has helped to define what you call your gender, your race, or your family, you would also better understand the conflicts and the underlying agendas as they relate to everything that exists on this planet. We're going to say it again. Earth is a sacred place, created to help resolve these long-standing issues between different families and other beings. And for many at this time, the solution some of you have embraced, which allows you to experience your freedom in a new way, to some of these other beings that are addicted to the conflict, that would rather pull the sword rather than extend a hand, just sounds really boring. Why? Where's the power in the choice you've made? Where is the glory of victory in the pain of defeat? Where is the struggle that has helped to support so many different underlying agendas? So yes, the choice so many of you embrace would indeed help to resolve these endless problems. But it changes the flow of energy. And that's not an easy thing for some to accept, when the flow for so long has been dependent on extracting energy, consuming energy, or literally stealing energy from each other. Most of you that are here at this time are in service to something vast, the Christ light, Christ consciousness, which of course is available to any being if you allow it to be a part of you. But its presence, fortunately, can't be managed or controlled. Oh, many have been given lip service to it as a way to try to manage it. But you and I both know it can only be served. In service to what? The free expression of your divine nature. In whatever way speaks to your heart. Let's feel into that for just a moment. Very good. Very good. Each of you have come to realize your freedom is priceless. Indeed it is. You tried using the sword to reclaim it. You tried playing the role of the victim to reclaim it. You tried being the oppressor to reclaim it. You tried playing power games to reclaim it. But it never worked. Your freedom already exists inside of you. That divine part of you. In my service to this human family over all this time, I have never seen the light of your soul radiating as it is right now. Each of you, in your own unique way, have truly taken to heart the role that you are now playing in support of all those that are actively involved with helping to change this world, in support of those that lack a sense of hope, in support of yourself for recognizing the magnificence of your own light that is unique to you and only you. This is the time that all of us have waited for, no matter what story you played. When a new story would finally begin to emerge. For most of you, by being on this planet but not of it. So we bring today's session to a close. We want to thank you for your service. We want to thank you for your devotion to a freedom that indeed exists for all beings. You don't have to earn it. We are already looking forward to sharing our presence in a very direct way in our upcoming events. A place where the dance between the human and the divine becomes filled with so much joy. Robert will share a short preview at the end of this session. But before we go, we want to remind all of you, there truly exists a place inside of you that knows that all is well. And there are many beings, such as myself, that are waiting for you to allow them to act as supports in your own life, not to interfere or to try to influence the choices or your own energy, but simply to remind you, you are not alone. You are never alone. Indeed. Until our next gathering, be well, my friends.